Welcome back to the Weekly Chat, everyone. I am 800 episodes into One Piece, and then some. I couldn't stop myself. I kept watching episodes even as I needed to record this, so I'm going to talk about a little bit that's beyond episode 800 as well. Just a hair, okay? It's fine. We're chill. We don't have to worry about all that stuff, but I do have a lot that I want to discuss. I mean, I caught the end of the Dressrosa arc. Quite a bit of it, actually, was still covered between episodes 700 and 800. And that means the downfall of Doflamingo and the beginning of the whole Cake Island arc, which, I'm not going to lie, I'm not a fan of the pacing of that. Spent a long time in the freaking woods there. Seriously, we spent such a large amount of time with Luffy fighting General Cracker. Last time I saw such a high concentration of Cracker, I swear I was looking at my high school yearbook photo. I got tired of it. I got tired of seeing him boast around being like, I don't like pain. Oh man, I don't like to get hurt. I honestly thought that once Luffy busted out Gear 4, that was it. It's going to be donezo. And speaking of Gear 4, I liked it a lot better than I thought I would. I'd seen glimpses of Gear 4 Luffy, and I thought, that is a goofy-looking dude. And I don't know if I'm a fan. And yes, it seems like kind of a goofy concept. It throws off every single person that he uses it in front of. They all start laughing at him, making fun of him, and all that jazz, but I was floored just as much as Doflamingo when he got knocked all the way down to Times Square. I swear, it was quite amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed Gear 4. It's very unique. It is making the most out of his own abilities before he gets awakened. And I know stuff Gear 5 Luffy down the road, but it is cool. It's cool to see how intelligent he was in utilizing his abilities and using hockey to complement his already natural rubbery abilities. I thought that was fantastic. I loved the fight with Doflamingo. It did go on a bit longer than I thought it would, but my goodness, all of it was great. I gotta say, though, Luffy has a bit of a Goku problem. What I mean by Goku problem is that Goku in Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, all that jazz, rarely beats an enemy all by himself. He usually needs the aids of his friends in one form or another. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. The power of friendship, it's definitely a staple in anime, shonen anime, all that jazz. Don't worry about it. The power of friendship is awesome. But when it's every time, you kind of sit there and wonder, is Luffy actually achieving these things himself? Like, what can he do if he is actually just fighting by himself? Because we saw him develop Gear 4 Luffy, which is great. Like, it shows that the dude is, in fact, intelligent. He's a bit of an airhead when it comes to just his general personality. But when he needs to survive in the woods by himself with no aid whatsoever against these enormous monstrosities, he figures it out. He proved that he can do that. But every single arc that I've seen, since the time skip at least, like not trying to think further back, but since the time skip, he's receiving aid in some form. When he was fighting General Cracker here, he needed Nami in order to help him win that. He couldn't do it himself. In both instances of him using Gear 4 so far, he's run out of time because he had poor time management, didn't just finish the job as quickly as he could, and then people had to protect him while his timer was resetting. So he didn't win any battle by himself. And I don't know. I want to see that happen because the person that I have seen that happen with is Zoro. Zoro has basically beaten everyone that he's come across since the time skip by himself. There was an instance where he needed help getting halfway across the city, but that was about it. And that wasn't so that he could win per se. It was so that he could win a little bit quicker so that people didn't die. He would have won either way. Now let's talk about some characters I've talked about before, as well as some new ones. Let's start with Jack. Jack the Jerk. I don't like the guy. Okay? I can't wait to see him get beaten down the road, because I found out that he's a fish man, so he couldn't move underwater, but he wasn't dead. I guarantee you by the time the Wano arc comes around, Jack will have been rescued. And I'm curious to see who beats him, because I do have a bit spoiled for me there. I know that Zoro ends up fighting King. So there's that matchup. But who is gonna whoop Jack? Because I gotta see it happen. Like, for real, someone just take Jack down. Because he is just such a jerk. What a freaking jerk bag that he is. And Isho? I like Admiral Isho, okay? Like, I liked him before. I like him even more now. Leaving it up to dice rolls. Oh my gosh. What a G. I think that he's genuinely a good guy. He has done some things that definitely should have gotten him court-martialed, and he seems to be getting away with it, at least to a degree. I don't think he's part of the Revolutionary Army yet. I will say, when the time comes when the world government is officially challenged and the time comes for it to possibly topple over, I think that Isho is going to be on the side against the world government. I came to a realization, seeing a bit more of what was going on in the background, I came to realize that even the fleet admiral is just kind of like a little errand boy for the world government leaders. So when it comes to the Navy itself, they're just following orders. They don't seem to be actually calling the shots to a very big degree at all. World government, a bunch of decrepit old people. Wow, what an ironic take, that doesn't happen in the real world at all, is the one calling the shots. And I'm excited to see what happens when things start to topple. Speaking of toppling, the Revolutionary Army's base. This happened off screen. Their base was destroyed. I don't think any of them were damaged. I don't think that they've even had their summit yet, because they're supposed to have a summit. I think that everyone in the Revolutionary Army is fine. They just kind of got themselves out of there. Like the rebels leaving Yavin 4 after they destroyed the Death Star. They're not sticking around, okay? They're not like, okay, well, we beat the Death Star, so like leave us alone. Nope, they pieced out of there and went and ended up at Hoth, unfortunately. Probably not an upgrade. But I'm going to guess that the Revolutionary Army actually did that too. So we've yet to see their full force, but again, I don't know everything that's going to happen, so these theories could be totally wrong. This stuff has been aired for years, so you guys that are already caught up probably already know all the details, but I've got a theory. Don't tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that the Revolutionary Army is going to start really showing up in force, especially at or after the Wano arc. I think right now we're not really going to see it, but something like the Emperor starting to topple is going to be such a disruptive thing that I don't think they can just kind of stay in the background. They put forth a bit more effort at Doflamingo getting felled, and he was just one of the 7 warlords. An Emperor is definitely bigger. I mean, they kind of made that clear. You got Doflamingo here. You got Kaido up here. So if they're going after Big Mom and Kaido, I think that they're going to start showing up a lot more. I do know that One Piece in general is in the final arc, they're calling it. So it is going to start wrapping up probably within the next few years. Who really knows? The final arc could be a ton of sub-arcs, but, I think within the next few years, things are going to start falling in place. You're going to start seeing the true intentions of some people. I think that people like Isho and Smoker are going to turn against the world government. I'm calling it. I really think that's going to be the case. There are a lot of good Marines out there. You've got Isho, Smoker, Garp. Garp is a great person. Like, let me step back a little bit, because I have to acknowledge the fact that Garp was like a rival to Gold Roger. And Luffy punched him off a bridge in Marineford. Luffy had barely started to grasp the concept of hockey at the time. There is absolutely no chance that Garp was beaten by Luffy without him letting Luffy beat him. That's what happened. Garp did not actually want Ace to die, and he was conflicted. I think that it was such a prevalent thing in his head. In his heart, he knew that what was happening was wrong, that Ace wasn't someone that deserved the death penalty for anything, and yet it was still happening. The world government, the Marines, were charging it. the people that he had swore allegiance to, that he had served proudly for decades, were the ones killing his own son. And I think in his heart, something has changed there. And one of these days, he's going to go off the deep end if he even survives. I know something big very recently happened, but I do think that he will be by Isho and Smoker's side, assuming that he survives when the time comes and things, go off the deep end. But Whole Cake Island, we're finally past the forest, and I feel like the pacing is going to get a lot better. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen here. Right now, what's her name? Oh my gosh, the woman that Sanji is going to Pudding. The Pudding is supposed to marry Sanji. Seems like an upstanding gal. I'm not sold. I'm not sold on it. The most recent thing that I saw was Sanji beating the crap out of Luffy and telling him to go away, and then crying because obviously this isn't really what he wants, but he's stuck in a bind and he can't tell Luffy what's going on. I think that they have ulterior motives. I actually think that this is a power play, and not in the sense of them coming together, Germa 66 and Big Mom Pirates. I don't see Big Mom willing to share power. I don't see it at all. What I think I see is a plot. I think that this whole thing is a ruse. I think that Big Mom is going to try and overthrow Germa 66's royalty and take it over for herself. Probably just kill Sanji's deadbeat dad and brothers and sister. I think that is the ultimate goal. And obviously I think something's going to go awry. I don't know. I'm conflicted because I don't like the Vin Smokes at all. The sister, she's not awful. I'm not the biggest fan of her, but I don't necessarily want her to die. Brothers could die. They could all just die. That would be perfectly fine. But I'm going to have to wait to see. The pacing has been a little weird in the Whole Cake Island saga, but overall, I'm still thoroughly enjoying everything. I'm hoping to see more Revolutionary Army. I want to see more Isho. I wish I could see the battle. They just do it. These cool battles happening off screen. It's kind of ticking me off. Okay? Like Jack attempted to take Doflamingo and rescue him, and they just showed everything leading up to the first cannon fire, and then boom, Jack wakes up and he had lost the battle. Are you kidding me? That's a cop-out. You need to show me that. I want to see how a billion berry bounty pirate lost to them. Come on, guys. Come on. But that's it. That's my thoughts so far on episode 800 and a little bit beyond of One Piece. Loving it. Loving it. Cannot wait to see more, to see how this arc resolves. Because I think that it will resolve by episode 900 when I talk about this next. So please leave a like and subscribe so that you can see me talking about it. I make plenty of funny videos. I'm a funny guy. And I appreciate every one of you. Thanks for watching. Bye.